Rumor has it that actor Tom Hardy has been secretly cast as Daniel Craig's successor, and fans couldn't be more excited to see him as the new James Bond. If you want to know more about this, keep watching this video for all the interesting details revealed so far. Let's begin. First up, speculations abound over Tom Hardy's potential as the next James Bond. It's virtually a time for transition for young British performers to be dubbed future Bonds by the general public. You may have been the most obscure bit part player, but will be floated as 00 material if you meet the physical template. For Tom Hardy, it was the same. Ironically, Hardy's Bond buzz began when he appeared as the sleek Clarky in Layer Cake in 2004, the film that functioned as Craig's informal audition for the part. Since then, the specter of the super spy has followed Hardy about, particularly after a suave role in Christopher Nolan's 2010 Inception and espionage-tinged turns in both Tinker Tailor Soldier Spy 2011 and comic spy caper This Means War 2012. Hardy, on the other hand, has never directly addressed the rumors. He said in a 2017 interview with the Daily Beast that in the acting fraternity and in the fellowship of his peer group, there's a saying that if you talk about it, you're automatically out of the race. So he is afraid he's unable to comment on it. If he says anything, it'll be gone. This makes it sound like Hardy wants the role, or at least did back then. The rumor gathered traction in 2018 when former Bond actor Pierce Brosnan chose Hardy for the role. Brosnan stated in an interview with the Mail that he thinks Tom Hardy might be a good Bond, and he would be delighted if Hardy did it. Now, why Tom Hardy can be the next James Bond. Tom Hardy is purely a box office draw. Hardy's physical appearance is similar to Ian Fleming's Bond, and he would bring a lethal edge and tremendous talent to the role. As the world speculates on who will be the next 007 to take over the reins, Inception's Tom Hardy is one name that keeps coming up in the conversation. Hardy responded to the James Bond speculations, receiving approval from his Venom Let There Be Carnage co-star Naomi Harris, who has performed alongside Craig in his Bond flicks since Skyfall in 2012. The highly anticipated sequel to Tom Hardy's 2018 Venom is finally here, and during a press conference for the picture with Entertainment Tonight, Hardy addressed the claims that he could be the next James Bond. If the actor has any ambitions to play the iconic super spy, he isn't letting them on. When asked if he would consider taking up the role of 007, he said that's something he's not sure of. Next, Hardy is one of the 6 most likely actors to next holster Bond's Walter PPK. When we compiled a list of the 6 actors most likely to take up Bond's Walter PPK in the future, Hardy was one of them. He'd go for Craig's Bond in a rougher, grittier manner. He's 5 inches shorter than the average Bond, but then again, so is Craig. Hardy is 5'9", while Craig is 5'10", and aside from establishing his suitability, the Cray twins' biopic legend, he's also a fan favorite for the part. But he's far from a lock, and there are lots of reasons to believe Hardy will never play Bond. For starters, there's his age. By the time Hardy's first Bond picture will be out, he'll be around the same age as Daniel Craig was when he filmed Spectre, the 4th of his 5 Bond movies. Hardy is also a well-known actor. Eon Productions tends to look for less established actors to take on the role of Bond due to the franchise's devotion, and Hardy isn't like that. The actor's even been nominated for an Academy Award. We'd bet on younger, taller, and less famous actors like James Norton and Richard Madden to play the next James Bond. We have no doubt that Hardy has it in him, but we're not sure if he checks all the boxes for producers Michael G. Wilson and Barbara Broccoli. Next, the new Bond is not yet officially revealed. Before we get into the logistics of it all, fans should know that Eon isn't going to start formal auditions until Craig's finished film is released. And how could they, with lockdown isolating everyone? Even if Hardy had won the part over Zoom this summer, revealing him as the new Bond before No Time to Die hits theaters would disastrously divert attention away from Craig's final film. No Time to Die, commonly known as Bond 25, is Daniel Craig's final appearance in the Bond franchise. Emery Kaya believes that the new Bond, whoever he may be, will not be revealed formally in early 2021. He'll be introduced during a press conference in London, much like Craig, Brosnan, and Richard Moore. So no, Tom Hardy is unlikely to be the new James Bond, but his casting remains a rumor for the time being. It may disappoint you, but that's the reality, and the reason Hardy and Eon haven't spoken much about the leak. That's all about Tom Hardy as James Bond. Time to move on to some other related news. Now, in other news, Tom Hardy was sighted in a Tesco in Broadbridge Heath, Sussex. Last week, the Mad Max Fury Road star was spotted at the Tesco Extra store in Broadbridge Heath. The video received over 78,000 likes on the popular social media platform TikTok. Tom, 44, is most recognized for his appearances in The Dark Knight Rises, Peaky Blinders, and Venom. And this isn't even the first time the actor has been shopping in the area. In 2019, the Legend actor stopped at the Sussex Company produce store on Staining High Street to pose for photos with fans. The actor and his wife, Charlotte Riley, reportedly relocated from London to the countryside due to concerns that he was being pursued. Tom's most recent film, Venom: Let There Be Carnage, was released in October last year. In the Marvel sequel, Tom reprised his role as the lethal protector Venom, while also serving as a producer and working on the story. Regarding plans for the third installment, Hardy told Esquire UK that he's thinking about a third movie as well, since he thinks you need to write that at the same time. A third film won't be approved until the second is a hit, but the studio was ecstatic with number 2. Because the film's premiere was postponed due to the COVID-19 pandemic, Tom, who has 3 children, used the lockdown to think about what's essential. The actor said that he had the chance to view the world as well as his own activities and how he lived his life, as well as what is important and what isn't. Next, a lost Tom Hardy and Benedict Cumberbatch film set in Cambridge. When our lovely hometowns appear on the big or small screen, we are ecstatic. Cambridge in particular is no stranger to the bright lights of Hollywood, from Grantchester to the theory of everything. Indeed, some of the world's best and most influential actors have gone down its streets for films and studies. There's even a movie starring Tom Hardy and Benedict Cumberbatch that was filmed in Cambridge. Stuart: A Life Backwards, an on-screen adaptation of Alexander Masters' classic Cambridge-based novel, starred the dashing duo. The novel is based on a true story and, true to its title, tells Stuart's life story backwards. The 90-minute film was shot in a variety of Cambridge sites, including Midsummer Common and a residence on Hertford Street. Stuart Shorter, a homeless drinker with a violent background, is played by Tom Hardy, and Alexander Masters, a writer and charity worker, is played by Benedict Cumberbatch. To make the story more interesting and to create a sense of mystery about Stuart's convoluted life, Alexander Masters was urged to write it backwards. The literature and film depict the unexpected bond that develops between Alexander and Stuart. Alexander begins to narrate Stuart's tale through a sequence of events as he learns more about his tragic childhood and convoluted life. Stuart tells his story and recounts events in reverse, displaying his dry humor and stern demeanor. Lastly, Tom Hardy's production of Great Expectations begins filming in the New Forest. Filming for a Tom Hardy-produced Great Expectations remake has begun in the New Forest. To film scenes for the BBC and FX 6-part series, Buckler's Hard near Booley in Hampshire has been outfitted with a variety of Victorian-era vessels, horses, and wood-frame barns. Executive producers for the film include Tom Hardy, Ridley Scott, and Stephen Knight, the man behind Peaky Blinders. Actors Olivia Colman and Fiona Whitebread have been cast in the roles of Miss Havisham and Pip, respectively. Additionally, Ashley Thomas, Johnny Harris, Shalom Brune Franklin, Haley Squires, Owen McDonnell, Tristan Gravel, and Matt Berry are expected to appear in the film. According to Wiltshire Live, a cook at a neighboring hotel noticed the incidents and recorded them through the windows of his lodging. Real horses and wooden carts are employed to haul the extras in rural Victorian attire. That's a wrap for this video. Do you think that Tom Hardy will play 007 in the future? Let us know in the comments below. Make sure to give this video a thumbs up and subscribe to our channel for more videos like this. See you in the next one.